In a graduate assessment centre, the very best presentation that you give can totally fall apart if you make certain critical failures. In this video, I'm going to cover 5 of the biggest, most fatal mistakes that you can make when giving a presentation. And one of these mistakes I think is going to take you by surprise a little bit. Being disorganized. You can make a terrible impact on your audience before your presentation has even begun if you are disorganized. So by that I mean, if you're struggling to locate your handouts in your bag, if handouts aren't stapled together properly, if they're dog-eared, and if there aren't enough handouts to go around to all the people that are observing, these are all things that do not look good before you even started your presentation. And it can have a really damaging impact on you as well, because it makes you feel less confident and you go into that presentation already feeling like you're on the back foot. So be fully prepared for any eventuality. Make sure there's enough handouts, that you know where your props are, and that everything goes smoothly right at the start of your presentation. Poor timing. When you are given your brief for your presentation or presentations a few days prior to the assessment centre, it will always give you the time limit for a personal pitch and for a technical presentation. Therefore, if you go into that assessment centre and give a presentation that falls well short of the time allowed or is in danger of going well over that time limit, then that just shows that you are, again, unprepared. A well-prepared candidate is someone who has practiced their presentation in front of people and timed it and refined it over a number of iterations. By deviating away from that time allowance significantly, it just sends a message to the assessors that you have not done those practice runs. And what are they supposed to make of that? Are they supposed to conclude that you just don't care about this presentation, you don't care about how you do in the assessment centre? Being boring. Not everybody is gifted with an abundance of confidence and has a magnetic personality, and giving a presentation is definitely a nerve-wracking experience. But even if you don't have the most colourful personality, you really can't afford for your presentation to be boring. The whole point of a presentation is to communicate something to the audience in a powerful and compelling way. If it's not doing that, then it's not communicating. You need to make us assessors see a topic in a different, unique sort of way, or to see you in a particular way. A presentation that's delivered in a boring way is just going to switch off the minds of the assessors. They've sat through hundreds of boring presentations in the past, and it's quite easy to drift off and to disengage from what you're saying. The real common things that tend to make presentations boring and cause the audience to disengage are things like reading from a script, not making eye contact with the audience, speaking in a monotone way, and also if you stand there stiff as a board, it's far better to be more animated and to use hand gestures. Also, showing no creativity in your presentation is another thing that will make it boring. Confusing the assessors. There are various ways in which you can make an assessor completely lose track of what you are saying. You're really in danger of doing that if you speak too quickly, if your handouts are too wordy and cause the assessors to read that instead of listening to what you're saying. Also, if what you are saying is disjointed from your handouts, if it's not obvious that what you're talking about has any resemblance to what's actually printed on the handout. You may also lose the assessors if there's no logical order to your presentation. And finally, they may check out if your presentation doesn't explicitly answer the brief that was set, because the assessors will always be looking out for you to actually answer a question if one was set in the brief. The really dangerous thing about confusing the assessors is that once they've checked out from your presentation, they're not going to check back in. They're rather just going to stare down at their scoring sheet and wait for the presentation to be over and wait for the next one to start. And lastly, being vanilla. By this, I mean having a presentation that is no different to 90% of all of the other presentations that we have to sit through. You have to craft something that is unique, something that really stands out from the crowd, something that has something genuinely original in it. So really unleash your creativity through the props that you use, through the way that you design your handouts, or by approaching the topic from a really interesting standpoint. You could tell a story from a particular person's viewpoint. You could say which aspects of the topic really mean something to you, and you can deliver everything with high energy and enthusiasm. Just remember that enthusiasm is infectious. If you can avoid these danger zones, then your presentation has every chance of being a great success. Please like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you find to be most challenging about giving a presentation. After that, check out this next video.